actually called me, and I really couldn't say no to his request. Moreover, I have actually. Thank you. So, moreover, actually, I have been a member of the Rotary, I think, for many years, maybe just 3 years of the E-Club, thanks to his better half. But over this period of 3 years, my idea about Rotary International and the work that they do has got actually clarified to a great extent. The tremendous amount of work that they do for the poor and the downtrodden in society. And of course, in several areas, that's very interesting. Areas relating to health, education, poverty, even I think they do for livelihood options in the slums and many such areas. It is very interesting because generally it is the government which does this, or NGOs or particular organizations which concentrate in one particular sectoral domain. But this is just fabulous to know that Rotary International actually concentrates on so many aspects. I actually missed being a member of this international Rotary International earlier. I should have been a member longer.
You were a honorary Rotary of our club. During that year. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mosa knows me from childhood days. He's a friend of my father, colleague in the Christian community. I know his family and he knows my family very well. Sorry. Why I chose this topic, citizens' relationship with government, is was because this is something which fascinates me quite a bit. Because on one hand, we have the situation in which we say, or a number of people say, that the citizen has not got enough voice. In case they have a voice, there has not been any response from the government. But you ask the government side, the government people would say the citizen activism has resulted in policy paralysis. The two aspects of how you look at citizens' relationship with government. And if you look at very minutely, I have tried to make a presentation of that, how this particular kind of dichotomy has shifted over a period of time, particularly in relation to implementation of government programs and government's relationship with the citizen. And the citizen could be anybody, you and me, everybody is a citizen. So basically the structure is something like this. Why this question is important? Where are we now? What is the current level of relationship between the government and the citizen? And what should be? What should it be? When I talk about what should it be, I'll try to talk about some international references. Okay, this is a little dense. I think I'll try to explain it. Why this is important for some of you who have some kind of a background in economics, I'll say that ultimately the government is actually an agent of the principle, and the principle is here the citizen. The citizen is, we all know in a democracy, the citizen is the most important actor. So the citizen is the principle. The government is acting as a trustee for the citizen, managing its assets, managing his welfare, managing everything, managing taxes, managing everything. So the government is basically an agent, and the bureaucrats or the bureaucracy which serves the government are actually agents of the government. They are like sub-agents of the government. So a citizen is having two, one is the primary agent, the principal agent, that is the government, and the sub-principal agent is the bureaucracy. Now what happens generally everywhere is that there is an information asymmetry. What the citizen wants, the government may not know. What the government wants, the bureaucrat may not know. So this is the asymmetry that happens, and the asymmetry happens for a variety of reasons. I will not go into that, it's pure economics, but what I would like to say is that as long as this asymmetry exists, the trust between the government and the agent and the sub-agent will continue to be under stress. because the full information is not available to anybody. Therefore, the relationship between the citizen and the government and the vice versa is very important because it should actually try to reduce this asymmetry. In which case, what would happen is that the government and the citizen would be on the same page, and the bureaucrat and the government would be at the same page. Therefore, this question is important. It is also important because now, in order to ensure that the citizen gets all its dues, I'll come to that, the judiciary, the regulators, the organizations which ensure that the citizens' rights are protected. But who guards the guardian? That's also a question. If the guardian chooses to become corrupt or chooses to perpetuate a situation of kind of disempowerment of the citizen, then who does the citizen turn to? What happens to the citizen? So that's important. Who guards the guardian? And then another economic terms is that if the citizen is not well informed, what the government tries to do for the good of the citizen may not actually be good for him. Because the aggregation of citizens' choices cannot take place unless this information asymmetry is reduced. So it often happens, what you will find, that the government constructs a bridge at a place where the citizens probably do not want the bridge at that place. They construct a road at a place where they do not want the road to be at that place. Because the aggregation of citizens' choices do not take place properly. And that is called the preference revelation doesn't take place, and then the aggregation doesn't take place, and that information doesn't reach the government. Now, these are issues very critical in public policy for policy making, and therefore this question, what is the relationship between citizen and government, is very important. Next. Now, even the World Bank governance indicators, the World Bank has governance indicators. There are 6 indicators. They have been there for a long time. The first indicator is voice and accountability. This is voice of the citizen, and accountability, that is how far and to what extent the citizen is able to hold the government to account. That's one of the primary indicators of good governance, as per the World Bank. Next. That's why this issue is important. Why I'm trying to tell you is why this issue is important. This is just something which is there. James Madison is a political scientist, 18th century, long ago he had said this, American political scientist, that men were angels. You can go through it. It is very nicely worded, that's why I thought I'll put it here. If men were angels, no government would be necessary. If angels were to govern men, neither external nor internal controls in government would be necessary. In framing a government which is to be administered by men over men, and not angels by angels, but men over men, the great difficulty lies in this. You must first enable the government to control the governed, and in the next place, oblige it to control itself. Who guards the guardian? That is, the government is to be your guardian. Who guards the government? Now, there are various organs of accountability. I just listed it, you are aware of it. What I am trying to point out is that the last one, which is a truly active, agile, and participative citizen, is one of the most important accountability structures. The others are structures which can be put in place by a legislation, by an order, by an executive instruction. Many of them. For example, oversight bodies, the legislature is a constitutional scheme of things. Interest groups here things like, suppose someone is working on climate change, you would be interested in exercising control, accountability over the government as to find out what kind of laws they are making. So those citizens are interested in accountability. But overall, and a responsible media, they also act as accountability organizations. But the most important thing is truly active, agile, and participative citizens. These terms which I have used here are very, very important. We use very often the word participation and participate very loosely to say that you get participation of people. Participation of people, as the next slide would show, doesn't mean that you get 40 people to a particular room and make a presentation like I am making as to what I want to do for you, and then seek two questions and say that this is what I have sought the participation of people. That's not true participation. Now the next slide will say, this is very important. This is the entire crux of my presentation today, that the OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, it developed an analytical framework as to what should be the relationship between the government and the citizens. Now, if you look at it, you will find that there are various issues like law is there, policy is there, institutions are there, and the traditional tools, ICT, information communication technology tools, the methods of interaction with the citizens. And there are three levels. The levels of engagement with the citizen by the government is not just information. It is information, and next higher level is consultation, and still a higher level is participation. If you are pushing information one way, through WhatsApp groups, through broadcast, through hosting, because of the RTI Act, you host something on the website, it is you decide what you are pushing. So that is called information, it's not participation. And the next stage is consultation. The third stage, the most elevated stage, is participation. Now if I go one after the other into the columns, you realize, we celebrated in 2005, as late as 2005, the enactment of the RTA Act is a great kind of thing that has happened for citizen empowerment. But look at it, freedom of information, a law, is only at the information stage. It has not even graduated into the consultation stage. If you look at the first row, you'll find that most of our activities so far, whatever governments and we have done for ourselves, are in the first row itself. So the process is now one-way paternalistic communication between the government and the citizen. The government decides what it should push. The government decides what kind of information that it will try to give under the RTA Act because of several provisions of exceptions. The government decides what is the method in which it will communicate this information. And the latest, what you say is website and portals, it is only, again, I'm trying to re-emphasize the point that we are only at the information dissemination stage. The participation of the citizen in governance and in government is yet to take place at any level, even as per the OECD analytical framework, which is a global framework. It is not a framework created by me. Now look at the next stage, is the consultation. Now I must say that consultation is a stage you find that we have graduated over the last decade into a phase of consultation in some areas. When you are talking about a mining lease, you will find a public consultation being held. This was prescribed there. When you are talking about social audits and programs, that was introduced, I think, about 8 or 9 years ago. Very late, you find that the citizens directly try to audit the implementation of whatever has happened in the village or in their panchayat. So that's a consultation. So we have reached a stage in which advisory bodies have been formed. So we have reached a stage where we are gradually getting into the consultation mode. This relationship between the citizen and the government is only at a consultation stage. Now what's the difference between information and consultation? Information is largely one way, top down, we know what is good for you, paternalistic. Consultation is a two-way process where, as I said, you call some people. Now that is the latest. You see the smart cities or whatever these what committees have been formed. People are called and there is a kind of an interaction, one decision, and okay, we have consulted. But consultation never results in a process in which the citizen who has participated in the consultation has his final say. The final say continues to remain with the person who has called for that consultation. It will also remain with the person in areas where he has called for consultation. If a particular area requires consultation in 5 subsectors, he may decide to consult only on 2 sectors, and the consultation is not binding. So even though it is an improvement on information, it is a two-way process. Consultation is better because it is a two-way process. Now the participation, which is the last stage, this is a stage in which the citizen acts as a partner to government. When you are a partner to government, this two-way process actually becomes a continuous two-way process. It's a circle back. Continuous feedback mechanism is taken from citizen. After I've been in government enough to know that in this consultation process, you consult once. Now, whatever you are suggested in these meetings, how much of it has actually gone into the paper which is finally produced by the bureaucracy, you never know. Finally, whatever will go will depend on what they have decided. Some amount of it may have been taken. But in the participation process, they will again put it back to the citizens to see that this is what we have agreed, this is what we have not agreed for these are the reasons. And then again there is a consultation process. And this happens in most of the developed countries. I have spent about a year's time in Singapore when I was doing my master in public management. And my work was on this when I was attached to the Singapore Prime Minister's office. And I have gone through this particular topic extensively to know that even though it's a small country, it may be easy to manage, easy to implement this participation process. The last block in that particular matrix is the electronic discussion groups. Now, in Singapore, there is, I was telling Talmai probably one day that in Singapore, there is a kind of an information highway throughout. And every citizen can actually plug into this highway and give his opinion. They have something called as REACH, reaching out for an active citizenry. Here, the government wants the citizen to be active. And I have gone into those websites to see. They will post. There will be some people in government who will be posting it back. They will again post. There's a continuous discussion going on. Some of it is picked up, some of it is not picked up. I'm not saying Singapore is the best model. But I'm trying to say this is how the participation of citizenry takes place. And where the citizen feels that he's a part of the government, he's a partner to government. Now, against this framework, I would like to I would like to say that what is the current problems of citizens in India would be this non-delivery or deficient delivery of public goods and utility and services. There have been delays, arbitrariness due to lack of transparency, iniquitous decision making, non-existent or deficient grievance redressal, and inadequate response to their voice. These are the typical citizens' problems in India now. Even now, at the village level, at the district level, at the state level, or at the national level. Now, to address these kind of problems, the relationship that is required between the government and the citizen is that the citizen has to partner in the government decision-making process. And that decision-making process is the one where the citizen is not allowed to participate. The citizen is allowed to participate in the planning stage. The citizen is also allowed to participate in the implementation stage. Now the citizen is also allowed to participate in the evaluation stage through the Johnson Wise and social audits. But the decision-making process, where a particular decision is taken in consultation with the citizen in a very participative manner, that is still not taking place. So the relationship between the citizen and the government is still, as the next slide says, it is an executive-led, top-down, paternalistic, very little voice for the people. Now, when it is paternalistic, it is like in our family, the father says, we know what is good for you. It tells the children, I know what is good for you, so you do this, you do that. That's paternalistic. That's the British legacy. It's a legacy that we are continuing to harbor and continuing to rely on. And our bureaucracy, our government, since it was it kind of evolved out of the colonial system, we are continuing to labor under this kind of a model. This is also called the administrative state model, in which there is no mechanism or inadequate mechanism for capturing public view in the decision-making process. The decision-making process is something which has been kept away from the citizen. So the relationship between the citizen and the government is still biased in favor of the government, and it decides what kind of relationships, what kind of information, what kind of consultation that it wants to have the citizen, and not the vice versa. The citizens have very little right with this voice. And the common citizenry also many of them follow the principle of the hands up approach, because government does not listen to me. I shout, but there is no response to it, and therefore a hands up approach. Our societal culture in our society, you see the societal culture, the cultural fabric of a particular community or a society also determines what kind of laws, regulations are in place. There is a famous guy, social scientist, who says that there are various models, and one of these models, it is basically similar to the first bullet. That is, there is respect for elders. Whatever elders say, that is correct. Whatever people in position say, that is correct. Don't join issues with them. The male are mostly right, the female is wrong. This kind of this kind of cultural values, which may be changing because culture also changes very slowly though. But these are the values which also impact the relationship between the citizen and the government. Okay. Now this is one side of the story in which I am saying that the citizen has really not got its view from the government. But then there has been a shift. This shift has happened in the last 10 odd years. What has happened is that in government programs largely, now we have shifted away from a trickle-down approach. You allot money to the government, to the district allots money to the BDO allots money to the GP, whatever, or directly, some kind of a change. But what happens is it trickles down. Now the model is shifted with the NREGS for the first time. That was again in 2003, 4, 5. Again during the RTA Act. They have shifted to a rights-based approach. In a rights-based approach, they say tell the citizen that you have a right to get this service. You have a right to get work. You have a right to get health facilities in the health scheme. You have a right to education in the Education Act, that is the RTE Act. And you have a right to get whatever, it's a right-based approach. Now this shift from trickle-down, paternalistic to a rights-based approach actually shifted the power center to the citizens. The citizens have got the right to demand certain things and get it. Even the Public Service Delivery Guarantee Act is also a rights-based approach. So this rights-based approach is the approach which has happened in the last decade. Sorry. Now what also happened from government selection to self-selection? It is a corollary from the first bullet. So what happens is that instead of the government telling that X, Y, Z will get the work, now the opportunities for everybody, you select yourself that if you want work or not. If you do not want work, you don't go for it. The government doesn't select it. That's the approach we are taking. Then from government-led systems to community-led systems. So communitization takes place, self-help groups, all kinds of stuff takes place. That has happened. Individual beneficiary asset to community assets is taking place. Competition to cooperation, community individual contribution, government audit to social audit. So what I'm trying to say is that the shift in the last decade has been more towards giving the rights to the citizens to demand, but that doesn't really mean in that framework participation. Now, on the next slide, I'll say that this is one side of this. So the first side of the story, this is the second side, the shift that has taken place. Now I'm talking about the third side of the story. The third side of the story is a CHE's officer, one was auditing several of this NREGA's total sanitation campaign, Indira Awas, all kinds of schemes. Now what we find there? What we find there, next slide, is that the individuals in the community, the citizen himself, has failed to govern himself. A group of its citizens within the community decide to corner all the benefits. It's called elite capture. And a group of citizens who are deprived continue to remain deprived. The power of social audit, which was a right which was given to the citizen was supposed to exercise that right. I have seen myself in Orissa several places where I have gone when I was here, you see that the social audit is supposed to have been actually organized by the community itself. What happens? The Sarpanch now calls this the social audit meeting. The same old system continues where a group of elites manage and control the entire situation. So a citizen who was given the right has failed to even exercise his right, has failed to govern himself. So when Mahatma Gandhi says Swaraj, actually I have a very different take on it. I don't say Swaraj doesn't mean local self-government, it is Swaraj, you govern yourself. And that is why his demands on individual, even a Swaraj kind of a framework, was much more. An individual has to sacrifice a certain amount of time and energy to look after the community's assets, to maintain the community's assets, to plan for it. A citizen doesn't do that. And why that has happened, and that's my pet theme, which I keep telling, is that of a donor-receiver relations. Now what has happened is that the government is the donor and the citizen thinks I am the receiver. So whatever you keep on giving it to me, you please give it to me, I'll take it. In whatever possible way, I'll take it. And as long as this donor-receiver relationship continues, which is a British legacy system. So we've gone back to the earlier times. We've gone back to the earlier times. The first thing what I talked about in the earlier slides, that the British legacy system is so strong culturally as well as administratively that the relationship of a donor-receiver, it gets perpetuated by successive governments, by successive administrative setups, and citizens, instead of, despite the educational levels having come up, despite society expanding, despite many of the asymmetries reducing, they still love to have free lunches. So the donor-receiver, as long as the donor-receiver relationship remains, a citizen's relationship with the government will always remain subservient. It will never become a partner in government. Whenever there is a scheme announced, even within our educated people, you would find that I have written that you know, even I will not hesitate to say that even in the towns, if a scheme comes in which there will be a group of people who will be benefited and a group of people who will not be benefited, the group of people who are not benefited would walk the extra illegal mile to get themselves included. It's just like the IAOI houses. You know, there is a demand to get themselves included in the IAOI's list, even though they are not eligible to get it. And there will be a group of people who are eligible to get it who will continue to remain excluded because they do not have any voice. So the asymmetry continues. Now this is another situation of what the next slide. What? Now why this mindset is there? This mindset is there because you do not own the government. You do not own the government. The citizen doesn't think that the government is mine, the government is ours, the asset created by the government is actually my asset. I keep on saying this to Dharmesh that my 2-year stint in Kerala, the only state where I find a little difference is Kerala. Kerala, I found that I do not know how the society has structured itself. I would probably think that it is a mixture. It's probably serendipity. By chance, it has happened that they had successive alternative governments of communists, followed by Congress, whatever Congress-led kind of a secular party, and then against communists. Now, Kerala is, nobody can call, no, it is a very secular society. But right from the beginning, because the communists were there, the investment in health and education ensured that the citizens come to, everybody is educated over there. What is important? You take any government of India scheme, anything, there would be a group of citizens. You might say that citizens have no work and nothing to do, that's why they keep on to shout and all that. No, it is not true. They own the system. They think that if a smart city has been announced in Trivandrum or Kochi, they have a right to plan, they have a right to implement. They will not really interfere in the process of tender selection or something. But if something goes wrong, they will be the first one to ensure that the work doesn't take place. Now, this is the only place I have served in several states to find that the decentralization that has taken place in Kerala, they call it as democratic decentralization, it's a case study in Harvard, they teach there over there. How beautifully it has come out, where the citizen actually takes charge of a project as if it is his own, as if I am constructing my own house. And therefore, I will not take half of the money and try to first spend the first installment in buying a vehicle and don't wait for the second installment. Don't take the second installment. That's what is happening in IBA houses. So, an empowered citizenry can actually be the owner of the government, can actually ensure that his agent, which is the government, can function properly or is functioning properly or not, can exercise that leadership only if it governs itself. And that is lacking despite legislative changes to make, as I said, rights-based approach, giving every right to the citizen to exercise. So now, so in the end, I would like to say there is no solution. I just thought that what kind of citizenship that we would like to have is this, which all of you would agree. But why doesn't it happen? Why doesn't it happen? We have tried. We have got how many years of independence? 70 years. We still have this situation, as I said, people trying to walk the extra mile to get an illegal benefit for themselves, even if they are not entitled to get it. And that's where the citizen compromises in his ownership control over the government. And the governments actually, when they talk about governments, like irrespective of parties, irrespective of structures, I say government is both the executive, they love the situation because what happens is they are able to control the citizenry by giving something. The donor-receiver relations. Donor-receiver relations is very well, in our houses when we have a servant, if if we have a donor receiver, we give him some salary and he takes and does my work, it is much better than when I have to sit together with him. You see, in Kerala, it's very difficult to even get somebody like this to work in the house. Most of the time, they work in hotels. It's very difficult. Either it's a fully paid contractual kind of a job that you have to do. You don't do informal arrangements as we do. Now, so the question is, if we want a citizenship that is agile, that is taking ownership over assets, that is exercising control over implementation of programs, constructively critiquing the governments and being very responsible, why has it not happened? Why has it not happened? And I have an answer. That's my last slide. The answer is this. Right? So that is what I would like to end. That the relationship between the citizen and the government can reach a level when they become partners, as is required, truly participative as per the OECD model. Only if the citizen has the courage to govern himself, has the courage to dissuade himself from illegal activities or illegal gratification which the government throws at him, to throw away the donor-receiver relationship. That requires courage. It really requires courage. It's very easy for me to say here for you to probably accept it, but very difficult to have that kind of courage in a village society, in a community where so many people are deprived of several things, several basic amenities. So even if he is deprived, it is not sufficient. And since it is not sufficient, of course, greed is one aspect, but another thing is that it's not insufficient. Whatever you give, probably water, whatever you give, this gas cylinder may not be adequate. He doesn't have the money probably to buy it. So the adequacy is an issue. So in such kind of a situation, to have the courage to govern himself and to take hold of charge of the government's properties, assets, decisions, and be a part of owning the government. I own the government. This requires real courage on their part. And that will probably come about if we really have to do a lot of sacrifice. And that is why Gandhian concept of grassroots participation has never taken off. And it was never probably allowed to take off because he put a lot of restrictions, a lot of demands on the individual citizens. Thank you so much.